It is now my great pleasure to introduce you to the Honorable James Kern, Warren County Freeholder, the recent recipient of the Coalition's Vision and Leadership Award, presented at our October 2020 annual meeting. Jim would have been welcoming us all in March to beautiful Warren County at Centenary University. Instead, you get to meet him on the screen. Jim, over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Julia. And first and foremost, I just want to say how honored I am to be speaking with you all this afternoon. As Julia said, today was supposed to take place at Centenary University, which is physically in Warren County, and circumstances such as they are have forced us online. I would have maybe tried to move my camera at this point to try to show you some of Warren County for those of you who aren't from here, but today's not a nice day either, so we're not going to do that. So this is my first time using Hopin as well. So just when I thought I was becoming an expert on WebEx or Zoom, we get to use a new platform. So exciting times ahead the next couple days. I've had the privilege of working with many of you and your organizations over the years. And for those of you who I've not met, I look forward to meeting you today virtually or in person, hopefully very soon. I was asked today to speak about the importance of regional planning. And quite honestly, I truly cannot think of a better place to do this than a river conference. Rivers, aside from being natural resources, recreational opportunities, or just part of our beautiful landscape, serve as borders. Perhaps when our founding fathers divided up this nation, there was no better or easier line than that of a mountain too high or a river too wide to navigate. Today, rivers still serve as political boundaries for different governing units. Warren County is no different from anywhere else. The Delaware River to our west divides us from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and to the south, the Musconetcong plays the same role with our neighbor in Hunterdon County. While regulations and leadership might be different in these areas, we all can have the same impact on the river. When we talk about regional planning, we are forcing people to think outside their perceived immediate backyards. New Jersey, unlike any other state, is subject to superior home rule. Our 565 municipalities create 565 unique and independent experiences. Former Assembly Speaker Alan Karcher's book, New Jersey's Multiple Municipal Madness, illustrates the unique problem for our state, and I would add this should be a must-read for anyone attempting to navigate or understand our politics. While I am not the first to say government closest to the people is the most effective, it can have its shortcomings, and nowhere greater is that in planning. I myself am a former mayor, and I understand the stresses of local office and the constant juggling of providing services while also maintaining a low tax rate. Realistically, there's only so much one can cut from their budget. The only other option is to attract ratables to your community. Over the past decades in New Jersey, different options have appeared as low-hanging fruits for towns. Age-restricted homes, malls, big box realty, and most recently, warehouses. As written, New Jersey law gives sole authority to towns on zoning and land use, and time after time, each of these different proposals end up significantly proliferating their area. The most recent usage of warehouse applications has become a truly unique Warren County phenomenon. Our county is ideally situated between the highways of Route 78 and Route 80. Between these major corridors, logistic companies can reach millions upon millions of people on the eastern seaboard within a day's drive. We saw in neighboring Pennsylvania applicants take advantage of a similar layout, which has led to an incredible saturation of these projects. During my first year in county office, half a dozen applicants appears across the central and southern portions of Warren County. Quite frankly, I've never seen anything like this before and believe it will continue and spread further east into New Jersey. Based on this information and conversations with the Highlands Coalition, I engaged with the Highlands Council to seek their insight and thoughts on the matter. As we all know, the Highlands Council is a regional planning agency that works in partnership with municipalities and counties in the Highlands region to encourage a comprehensive regional approach to implementing the 2004 Act. We joke the idea of a Warren County freeholder and the Highlands Council having a policy conversation 20 or even 10 years ago would have been more of an argument than a collaboration. I can tell you we have had a great collaboration. While sure, I've had my own concerns with the act itself, specifically to compensation, I've always supported their mission to protect our exceptional national resources, specifically clean air, forest lands, wetlands, and a habitat for plants and animals. That being said, thanks to the leadership at the council and Executive Director Lisa Plevin, we were able to secure a grant to study the traffic impact of the entire county's current zoning, specifically to light industrial, which includes warehouses. To my knowledge, this was the first study of its kind that the Highlands ever funded. This independent report was recently completed, and the findings were quite frankly disastrous for our infrastructure, but not surprising. Next year, I anticipate to serve as director of the Warren County Freeholder Board, soon to be Board of Commissioners. In case you're not keeping track of New Jersey politics, our title is changing, so it's hard to follow the ball sometimes with our titles. In this capacity, I intend to pursue some very new strategies for Warren. Not only will we look to have the most transparent government in our county's history, I will also look to have the most collaborative one. The report that I mentioned is a beginning. It is a call to action. In 2021, the county will lead regional planning meetings with our 22 municipalities. Each of our towns will be divided into one of 3 regions, North, Central, and South. All of these meetings, we will discuss zoning, proposed and future projects, and create an information flow between the communities. It is crucially important to note that there is no intention to influence zoning, but rather foster dialogue. It is my belief that these realizations will happen naturally between the towns. County staff will be on hand to attend, as well as invitations will be extended to state agencies like the DOT and the Highlands Council. In speaking with many municipal leaders, this proposal will be welcomed. I am not naive to think that this will be easy. Many local officials are volunteers and their time is already pressed as is. Some elected officials still see the Highlands as a boogeyman and refuse to even consider conformance conversations. Also, attempting to promote this concept during a global health pandemic is not the most idealistic of circumstances. But the word pandemic is an interesting one. Derived from the word Greek pan meaning all and demos meaning people, perhaps we could say Warren County is facing its own pandemic of zoning. No matter where you live, your background, your beliefs, all people are impacted by zoning and development. All of you on this call today, I know, are active within your communities, some which are in Warren County. And my ask to you is get involved. When I say this, sometimes people look at both ends of the spectrum. You don't necessarily have to run for office, and you don't just have to attend meetings or write letters. You can sit on your different communities' boards, planning boards, land use, zoning, or environmental commissions. Believe it or not, many of these boards have vacant seats and could use thoughtful policy thinkers on them. They are incredibly important to the future of your community. There has been a lot of talk in the past few days about red and blue, liberal or conservative. And while yes, certainly our nation has our differences now, one area we should all agree on is protecting our home. To close, I would just like to leave you with a thought from former President Theodore Roosevelt, in which he said, "I recognize the right and the duty of this generation to develop and use the natural resources of our land, but I do not recognize the right to waste them or to rob by wasteful use the generations that come after us."